P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are finding this show in good spirits. That's more important than anything in the world right now, to be really honest. But remember, another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that as well, guys. Because I know we got a lot of polarizing, a lot of stuff we got to talk about that gets people heated up here in these internet streets. And I got to be honest, I get it to a certain extent. I get it. But nonetheless, we have got to get into this conversation. We got to get into the hard topics, hard conversations. And this one, I have to say, this one is interesting. So we got to get into this. But before we do, please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button, all that good stuff. If you are watching on those other platforms, like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, please do me the solid by hitting that follow button on those platforms, please and thank you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel if you're watching here on YouTube. If you are watching on my second, not watching, but if you, please make sure you're subscribed to my second channel, my bad, the Pascal Show clips. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. I got kind of like a late upload of stuff coming to you guys on both channels, okay? So please make sure you are subscribed to both channels. Hit that notification bell so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. Let's not forget that, okay? Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com, okay? We got some great stuff over there, guys. PascalMerch.com. Go check it out. Put your peepers on it. I'm sure you're going to find something you're going to love right over there. PascalMerch.com. All right, guys. We have got to get into this conversation. There is quite a bit to talk about. There are a few things that we talked about in a pop-up video in regards to this whole situation with Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. Of course, this has really split the room. Understandably, it has split the room, but nonetheless, it has made people feel some type of way. And one thing I have to make abundantly clear before we get into everything, because we have talked at nauseum, all right, about the racial side of things. I mean, this is very obvious. One is black, one is white, okay? We've already talked about the racial tension that is going on in regards to this whole thing, how this has become extremely politicized. Either if you're on the liberal side, if you're on the Democrat side, the blue side, you're on the side of Carmelo. If you're on the red side, the conservative side, you are on the side of Austin, okay? And just so that you know, if you are late to the party, Carmelo is the black kid and Austin is the white kid, just so you know. Now, here's the thing. There's been new things that have been coming off as of late that have been very interesting as of yesterday. I didn't have a chance to share or talk to you guys about it yesterday, but now we are getting some new updates about these claims that were talked about yesterday. Okay. In fact, even earlier today, too, because a lot of people have been up in arms like, oh, God, blah. You know what I mean? It's been like that on the internet about this title you're seeing above or down below, wherever you're watching this show right here. People have been very, very up in arms. Okay. But what is up in arms, by the way? Is it just up in arms like this? Isn't that the gesture? I just feel like a lot of these people are very flabbergasted for like, just absolutely taken aback. Okay. Upset, feel like they're getting run amok, led astray, bamboozled. Okay. Plymouth Rock didn't land. My bad. That's the wrong quote. But you know what I mean. Okay. A lot of people have been feeling some type of way about this particular case. Understandably, I get it. As soon as it became a thing, became knowledge for the world, we were on it talking about it as well. And of course, at first I was like, guys, can we just not look at this as a, this doesn't have to be a black and white thing. Does it have to be? I even said that in the very beginning. And guess what happened? It still happened that way. It's become a black and white thing. Now, here's the thing. There's been a lot of interesting situations that have happened since Kamelo Anthony was let go, was taken out on bond. Now, first and foremost, just a quick reminder, he had a $1 million bond set on his head for taking the life of Austin Metcalf. Now, let me just say this before people get their panties all up in a bunch. First and foremost, Kamelo Anthony does admit when he is getting detained by police that he did do this. He says, I'm not alleged, I did this ish, right? He also says, I told him not to touch me. I told him not to mess with me, touch me and find out, right? He told him he better not F around and find out, or he gonna find out, right? Just so you know, he also claims, Kamelo Anthony, he also claims that this is self-defense. Now, this is the part that I hit the button, because this is where everyone got, everybody and their mama got mad. Everybody tripping over this situation, which I understand. Some people believe that it is self-defense without any proof of self-defense. We also hear that people are saying, yes, this is cold-blooded M without full 100% proof of M. I'm just saying, when you look at it on the outside looking in, it's like somebody sitting on the sidelines and watching a war happen in front of them. You know what I mean? It's like East Side versus West Side, and you're just sitting there with popcorn going, I don't know what's going on, but everything's going boom. It's really exciting. One thing is for sure, when you sit on the sidelines and you look on the outside looking in, you sit there and you instantly go, well, where's the proof? Is there anything else that we know? What else do we know? Where's the proof? Where's the Carfax? Isn't that one of the things that we want to know? Before we make a full decision on if this is, if Austin was the aggressor or Kamelo was the aggressor, we don't know the full story. All we're doing, all the people are doing on the internet right now is leaning solely on the fact, either on their own political views, whatever fits their political narrative, or if they're pro-black or pro-white. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. If you notice, you look at somebody you look at conversations that they're having on certain political platforms. They're talking about one thing, and it's tailored to a specific echo chamber. You look on the other side, you see this same thing. It's just a different perspective. It's on the opposing side. You see what I'm saying? Instead of them saying, "Hey, let's just see what's going on. Let's get the proof. Let's see the footage." Right? 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 That's what it's supposed to be. Okay? That's how it's supposed to be. Let's see the Carfax. Let's see the facts. Let's see the evidence, and let's see what's going down. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world now, do we? Okay? Everyone's quick to shoot from the hip and say, oh, yeah, that's what happened. And that's what it is. I don't care. I don't care if the video and footage tells us otherwise, right? As long as it fits my narrative. That's at least what we've been seeing. Some people are instantly, man, it just breaks my heart. And I know I'm on like the soapbox a little bit, okay? But I'm going to say what I got to say, because I feel like there are people on this planet that are watching and listening and viewing this case, and they feel exactly like I do. It's kind of like, I am just so sick and tired of people going out here using their platform, and then it's all race. I'm not kidding. I've seen some where it's like, black kid kills white kid. Another white person dies by the hands of a black kid. It's like, oh my dear God. Oh my dear God. How about we find out what's going on first? Let's find out the facts. And why is everybody gaslighting? Why is everybody triggering? Why is everybody doing that stuff? It's so ridiculous. Let's find out what's going on here. You know for a fact this would not be viral or huge news if this was two white kids doing this to each other. This would not be huge conversations or anything like that if this was two black kids doing this to each other. Come on. Wake up, the world. Wake up. Come on, man. And I know somebody out there going like, shut up, Pascal. You're stupid. Come on, man. Come on. You don't see some of these platforms, some of these other some of these news outlets? Oh, my God. And it's just triggering stuff. It is just turning into, East side versus West, black versus white. Come on, man. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. We better than that. We are better than that. Are we not? Are we not? But okay. At the end of the day, I want to see the facts. I'm not sitting there going, Kamelo did. Like, let's be real. We should all agree on this, okay? We should all stand on the same platform together in unison. Black, white, Puerto Rican, polka dotted, or Asian. It don't matter what race you are. We should all be on the same doggone platform, holding hands in unison on one fact and one fact only. Let's just start here. Carmelo Anthony admits to taking the life of Austin Metcalf. We can all agree on that. We should all agree on that. Instantly. Boom. He admits it. Bet. He did that. He admits it. I'm not alleged. I did it. He says it. That is one thing that is for sure. Here's another piece of information that we can agree on. Kid brought this knife. Okay? Kid brought knife to a track meet. Why, you may ask? I have no earthly clue. I'm not in Carmelo's head, and I'm not his legal representation. So therefore, we're going to have to sit back and see what the reason is for that. But he did bring that to the track meet. That's another thing we can all agree on. That is a hard fact. Okay? That's a hard fact. Now, as far as the conversation between Austin and Carmelo, that is still up in the air. All we do know is that there was some sort of fiery conversation that happened between these two boys. And now Austin Metcalf is gone. Some eyewitness accounts say that Austin Metcalf aggressively put his hands on Carmelo. Some say he just touched him. So we don't know everything yet. But once we get more information, for a fact, we're going to hear more things. We're going to see it. But here's the other thing too, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say this now. All right? Because I was thinking about saying this later, but I'm going to say it now. Where is the video footage? And this is on both sides of the family. Both families. Why hasn't there been a campaign to say release the footage? Release the Kraken. Why haven't they done that yet? Why hasn't the Metcalf family asked for that? Why hasn't the Anthony family asked for that? Release it. If Anthony is 110% for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, just self-defending himself, okay? Defending himself, self-defense claims, where's the footage? Why aren't we seeing them coming out and saying, yo, drop that stuff, drop it like it's hot? Or I'm curious, has any family member, have the Anthony family or the Metcalf family seen the footage? Feedage, I guess, because there's multiple, apparently. All right? Multiple angles out here in this piece. Have they seen it? And if they haven't, why hasn't there been a campaign to say, hey, let us release the footage. Let it out. Let everybody see what's going on. I'm just saying. It's something to ask. And it's something to think about. Because at the end of the day, if that footage is good enough and clean enough and is in HD, 4K, we should be able to see what actually went down, y'all. We should be able to see right there. Oh, no. Oh, Austin definitely was the aggressor. And damn, his brother was really there. Wouldn't we know that by now? None of that stuff is leaked. Something to think about. Okay? Release the damn footage, and then everyone will stop getting on each other. I mean, there'll still be people dying on that hill. You see what I'm saying? It'll still be, because let's be real. And I'm just using this one side, so don't get at me. I'm just saying this one side for 1 second. Okay. It'll be somebody, or when, as soon as that footage comes out and it shows one side's narrative more than the other, there's still going to be somebody on the opposing side saying, well, but it was the wind. You know what I'm saying? Because if we see it and it shows for sure that Austin was going at him, let's just say, going at him, and it shows self-defense, you know for a fact there's still going to be pro Metcalf side that is going to fight, still stand 10 toes down. Or if it shows, oh yeah, Kamelo really did that, there's still going to be people pro Kamelo that are going to sit there and say, no, that was still self-defense, which still sucks. But at least that footage will be out here to hopefully quell some of the social media racial storms that keep brewing up all over in the town square. But that's just what I think, okay? And I think that's a viable and solid question to ask. Where's the footage? Where's the damn footage, right? Now, here's the other thing. I talked about this in another show and a couple of the videos as well. Carmelo Anthony's bond was reduced from 1 million, okay? Was from 1 million down to 250,000. Yes, I know that angers a lot of people. And it also makes people feel kind of warm in their heart. It doesn't matter what side you're on. At the end of the day, this kid was going to be able to find a way to get out. Somebody would have donated the money to get him out, or if it stayed at $1 million, or the family would have been able to use the funds to get him out. You got to remember, he has rights just like any other American citizen on this planet. And you can't just sit there and only be down to say those things about any other person that you support. And as soon as it doesn't fit your narrative, or his color, the color of his skin does not fit your narrative, that suddenly he doesn't have rights anymore. He's just an animal. In fact, that's what some people are saying in chats right now. Now, what he did was monstrous. It's terrible what he did. Can't believe he did that. Can't believe it. But people are really showing their racist slips are showing, okay? And it's gotten a little out of hand. Let's be real. But he gets bond and he gets out. And we've seen the footage of him getting out, all right? And yes, that really, it has burned a lot of people's cookies, okay? It's burned a lot of people's cookies and has angered a lot of people. But wasn't this the same thing that happened? I mean, yes, I know that Kyle Rittenhouse, he didn't get bonded out right. He didn't get bonded out outright. But when he was released from prison or released from jail, people were very happy about him being released. People were happy that he was getting let go. People wanted to know what he was doing. There was quite a reaction when he was let go. Understandably on both sides. I get it. But it's interesting when people are saying, oh, this guy, Kamelo, is being treated like a damn celebrity. And then, but what I instantly say is, didn't they do the same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse? Man, didn't he write a book? Doesn't he have a book out or something like that? I mean, like I said, there's a lot of the stuff that's been out here. Okay, the treatment we've seen on other cases before. People getting applauded as they're doing runway. Okay, Daniel Penny literally just went and he did some stuff. All right, runway. Okay, after being exonerated for what happened in that New York City subway. All right, people have been praising, and giving those people praise. This kid is only getting bond, and people are losing their minds. And again, I have to say, That is his legal right to post bond and to post bail. Now, I get it. Not everybody is going to agree with me, and that's fine. But I'm just trying to point something out. Kid was being accused of M as well. We have the same situation here. Kids getting out on bond. Now, I know people are mad about it being different levels of bond and all that. But at the end of the day, I really do think that it doesn't matter if they had $1 million or not. They still would have dipped into some of the funds that they raised from Give, Send, Go and use it for his bond. Don't worry. We're going to get into the conversation about the house and the car and all that stuff, which is very, very interesting. And again, a very bad look if it's 110% true. But I do want to share and show you guys a few things here before we get into that conversation. Now, this is just footage of him getting out on bond, okay? Let's take a look at this.
We're up, we're up, we're up, we're up.
Carmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say? Anything that you'd like to say to the victims, to the family of the victim? Why were you armed, sweetheart? Carmelo, why were you armed at school? Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
No, you like to say?
Now, I know we've all seen this footage a lot. We've all seen this piece of footage a bunch. I got another angle, though. They were recording from inside, or they were recording using like meta glasses right before he walked out, which I think is very interesting as well. And to me, I look at this and I feel like, you know, it saddens me. I'm gonna say it. It saddens me because I feel like there's certain people that latch onto a case and try to use it for their own clout. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening here. Why film this? Why? I'm just going to be real. I know some of y'all will be like, what? Because some of y'all think I'm taking somebody's side when I'm not. In fact, this is uncomfortable. Straddling the fence is uncomfortable because I don't know everything yet. We don't know everything yet. Okay. I'm waiting for more footage. I'm waiting for more proof. And I'm going to say right now, before we look at this video, if they have the footage, why hasn't the footage been released? It would either damn him even more or exonerate this kid. And I'm asking, where's the footage? Right? So that we could stand on one side or the other. Right? But one thing is for sure, this I don't like so much. Okay? I don't like this so much. It's weird. Now, I will say this too. Yeah, I'm getting splinters. P. Cooper. It's not comfortable. All right? It is not comfortable. But still, something's weird about this. I don't like this video at all. Now, this is from inside. We just saw the video of him walking out of the courthouse, right? This is the video of him right before he walks out of the courthouse. He walks out, same video, just a different camera angle. And this is being recorded on meta glasses. And I keep wondering, why? Why would they film this? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't to me. Is it for the guy here? I forgot. It's Dominique. I mean, is it for for him to use for his website and stuff like that? I mean, to me, it is. I'm going to stop talking. Let's take a look at the video. All right. I just don't agree with the video personally. And I don't know if this is his opportunity to try to be like, look at me, I'm Benjamin Crump up in this B. I don't know, but something seems weird. Yes, Shelly Mavs. These are meta glasses that this particular one of the guys is wearing in this video. Okay. And so it's all point of view. All right. But I'm wondering why. Okay. I am just curious about why.
All right. Come on, man. Just follow back behind us. Just stay close, okay?
Damn, that's loud.
Carmelo, do you have anything that you'd like to say, Carmelo? Do you have anything that you'd like to say to the victim, to the family of the victim? Why were you armed, sweetheart? Carmelo, why were you armed at school? Explain your self-defense. How is this self-defense?
Excuse me.
Carmelo, you want to say to the community that's donated?
Okay, and then they jump in the ride and they drive off. Now, here's the thing: there have been a lot of people getting angry, basically saying, "Oh, they're treating him like some sort of celebrity and all that." No, he's not a celebrity. He got into a car and he drove off. I don't know why they filmed this thing. I don't know why they use glasses and meta glasses to take footage of this thing. To me, it looks a little bit like, maybe there's somebody who is trying to take advantage of the fact that he's standing right next to a very high profile suspect, a high profile person in a very high profile case, and is trying to capitalize on that situation. Let me just be real on that, okay? Because again, it is weird that they would film this, okay? And then later on, this footage was actually used on Minister Dominique Alexander's X account. So let me show you what I mean. This is the footage. Hold on, where is it? Well, I'm going to show you guys that one here in a second. But isn't it on here? I could have sworn it was. There it is. Right? So this is on his. Okay, so this is the same guy, all right, with NGAN, all right. This is the guy who was doing the press conference, basically saying that Kamelo and Austin never knew each other. They had never met before, ever in life. And then, of course, this whole thing went down. This tragedy ensued, okay? So what many didn't see was the view from our director of security's, let me pull this up, smart glasses, capturing the moment of our NGAN security team escorted Carmelo Anthony from the Collin County Jail to the vehicle. This wasn't a hired detail. This was family. Okay. So it is simply a reflection of the critical, consistent work we've been doing for over a decade. To our security team, past, present, and future, thank you. What you do is vital. And as president of NGAN, I couldn't be more proud. This is what Team NGAN looks like. This is what people powered justice. This is what people powered justice looks like. Okay. So again, this message is brought to you by NGAN. But at the same time, this is what he put out. Okay. Then here's another one. Another piece of as soon as they left. Okay. And as soon as they got him into his home, they posted this photo, okay, which we are going to take a closer look here in a second, because there's a lot of allegations that have been coming out, which has been insane, okay, which we are going to talk about here in a second. Carmelo Anthony is safe at home. This moment is a reminder that a community united can never be divided. The journey ahead is long. The journey ahead is long. But today, we celebrate a victory for justice, for family, and for the power of people coming together to protect our youth. Thank you to everyone who stood with us. The fight continues, but tonight, Carmelo is home. Here it is. All right. Here's his home, or he's inside a home, standing right next to Carmelo. Okay. Here's everything. All right. Now, one thing is for sure. People are taking this to a whole other level, saying that they bought him new Dunks, new Nikes, etc. All right. I don't see any of that in this photo, except for you can see right over here some Nikes. Okay. Some of y'all call it Nikes. Some Nikes over here. Okay. But that's about it. The only thing that I can see that's new on his person, aside from the suit that he has on his body that has not been tailored, is the ankle monitor that he has. He's got some brand new jewelry. All right. He's got some accessories right now. And that is right there. Okay, guys? Anklet monitor. Now, things have been getting a little insane in the conversation. People are feeling some type of way about this. And I say this, okay? If he got some new Dunks, he got some new Dunks. If he got some new Nikes, he got some new Nikes. It doesn't matter. All right? What matters is what his team is going to present when he goes into court. Because I already know in the court of public opinion, the jury is majority of the jury has come. Well, a good portion of the jury has come out. People are upset and believe that, yeah, he committed first-degree M. There's another side of the world of the jury that believes that, hey, self-defense. I leave that question up to you guys. Is this self-defense or no? We all know at least some of the facts. But there's some pieces that could be very crucial that could change the trajectory of a verdict for Kamelo Anthony. For example, if it is self-defense, there will be proof out there showing that, yeah, Austin was indeed the aggressor, and he made Kamelo fearful for his life, and therefore it was self-defense. Or Kamelo lost his mind, lost his cool, and he had a thirst for blood. All that stuff will be proven if the video footage actually shows the attack, the fight, etc. And like I said, we got to wait for it. We sit back and we wait for it because it's coming. Trust me, it is coming. But I still am wondering. The whole thing happened 14 days ago, by the way. All right? This happened on the 2nd of April. And we still have yet to hear anyone step forward and say, release the footage. Put out the video footage. Because as soon as that comes out, that will definitely change the tides here for sure. Okay? It will definitely change the tides. Even the people who are, and it may change the tides on people solely because they will change their mind and go, well, it's not I can't defend him. I know I'm siding with this side, but I can't defend that he did that. Or no, that was self-defense for sure. Without a shadow of a doubt, that was self-defense, right? So we still got to wait for that. Okay. But I'm going to play this here real quick because we got a little video for you guys to check out. And I may put up a poll. I'll put up a poll here in a second. But please hit that like button down below. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. Hit that like button down below. All right. Let's get it to, can we get it to 600 likes? Okay. Let's get, can you do that for me? Also, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Thank you. Please and thank you. Actually, before I get into that, let me get this super chat. Beautiful Messy Ball. Thank you so much for the super chat. What about the new $150,000 Escalade? He's on house arrest and can't drive. Okay. And $900,000 house. I don't care. I don't care about some shoes. Yeah, you know what? We are going to be talking about that very shortly. So just hold your horses. We're going to get into that conversation just a minute. All right. Let's take a look at this video.
And Sarah, thanks so much for being with us here. This story has garnered a lot of national attention. What more do we need to know?
Absolutely. And it's that national attention. It's played a big role when we're talking about the security and the safety of all parties, really, in this case. And that was something mentioned today. And you could see it, too, here just outside the Collin County Courthouse, inside the courtroom as well. There was a heightened security presence, additional law enforcement, at least more than usual. The judge even made it known that she had received several threatening phone calls ahead of the hearing and hasn't been under this kind of pressure, really, or seen a case reach this public scale in her 13 years of being on the bench. Another key thing that stood out a little bit earlier today was who took the witness stand. We did hear from Carmelo Anthony's father, the suspect in this case, and we got more of an idea of his son's character. He talked about Carmelo Anthony being a straight-A student, the captain of the football and track teams, and a church regular. Now, the defense says all that matters when it comes to bond. Also, that Anthony's not a flight risk and has strong community ties.
Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish. It's supposed to ensure that a person shows up to court, complies with all conditions, and it's supposed to keep the community safe. So this is a large and substantial bond.
And of course, we already seen this part. Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
Died in his twin brother's arms, and court records say Anthony admitted to the stabbing and asked officers if this could count as self-defense. And both Carmelo Anthony's parents, along with Austin Metcalf's parents, were both inside the courtroom earlier this morning. As you can imagine, both parties, both quiet and somber. Andrew?
Okay, so of course we already know about all this other stuff, but appreciate the little bit of that recap here. And of course, I know it angers a lot of people for this kid getting out on bond. But I do have to say, okay, there's been plenty of other monsters, yes, that we have been very upset about getting lesser bond or even just getting a bond, right? We have talked about that a million times, especially when we deal with like monsters that deal with, that do terrible things to littles, right? That those mother lovers get out. We get angry about those things. Abso-freaking-lutely, understandably. But at the same time, if that's what the judge decides, that's what the judge decides. Yes, I know some of us will think those things are unjust and wrong, but unfortunately, that's just how the system mother loving works. And sometimes the system works in our favor, and sometimes it doesn't. We've seen plenty of convicted, or what we believe to be guilty parties, guilty individuals, even walk right out the courthouse, free as a bird, never to be heard from or talked to ever again. Or sometimes we hear about them again because they've done something even worse. Something to think about. This is just the system, and this is just the justice that we live in. This is how courts and the law works. Sometimes it works for us, sometimes it doesn't. So again, when we look at this situation and people get super mad about this, and everyone gets all frazzled about these things, unfortunately, we have a judge or a jury making the decisions. It's how it's presented in court. That's really what it is. It's what the evidence is presented, etc. And again, we're going to see very, very soon. Okay. We're going to see very, very soon if this kid is innocent or not. Or let's just be real, if this is self-defense or not. Because the act of taking this kid's life, of Austin's life, did actually indeed happen. So there is no question on that. And what's sad about this, and I keep saying this over and over and over again, and some of y'all have like selective hearing, it feels like, but what happened here is a tragedy. Austin Metcalf should still be on this planet. He should still be alive. We still need to teach our kids about conflict resolution, finding ways to not just wake up and choose violence all the time. What's sad about this is not only did Austin lose his life and a family lost their child, but another family is potentially, most likely, going to lose their child as well. All because of bad choices that were made. Again, I still keep wanting to know why did this kid, Carmelo Anthony, decide to go to this track meet with a knife in his book bag? I'm still wondering about that. Now, given the fact that he lives in a fairly nice area and all that, is still something that's very weird to me. He lives in a good area, affluent family, not perpetuating any type of stereotypes that everybody's been putting out here as far as the family. I'm not talking about his social media. His social media stuff is another one, and that is wild. Okay, he about that thuggish ruggish bone. Okay, it's pretty wild. All right, like he's in a damn hip hop video. It's not great. It's not great. But he comes from an affluent family, a good neighborhood, living in allegedly a $900,000 home, gated community. So why would this kid feel like he needs to have a knife on his person unless he had it there specifically for protection? Because I know these streets be wilding out here. These streets are crazy. But that's something that I think we need to talk about soon. Now, here's the thing. And again, because people have been putting out all I've seen some of the most racist stuff I've seen revolving around this. This is ridiculous. Okay. Photos, it's been bad. And we need to transcend from that. We do. And look at the facts. And get the facts. Just my thought. Now, we got to get into the conversation here, okay? Because there's a few things that have been out here that now we're starting to hear is fake mother-loving news. Here's one thing for sure. This came out yesterday. There's a new update, which we are going to talk about here in a second, which actually exonerates the family. Some people are not going to like this part. I'm sorry, but these are the facts. People have been going ham on the internet, basically saying, oh my gosh, they're buying new cars, they're buying new homes. They're using the crowdfunding money to buy all these lavish things and stuff. Well, apparently that's not entirely true. So let's take a look at this, okay? Just ride with me because there's a little bit that we need to talk about. And remember, I will say this too. People were trying to find everything they can under the sun on Kyle Rittenhouse as well. They were trying to claim that his family was going to use all the money because he raised millions of dollars, okay, for his legal funds. And they were trying to make it seem like he was going to use that money to, do all kinds of crazy stuff with it as well. Just so you know. And he used the Give, Send, Go crowdfunding account as well, just so you know. Just like Luigi Maggioni is using it, etc. Okay? Just so you know. All right? And shout out to the mods. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. So here's the thing. So here's the video. Here's an article that was put out yesterday. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Sent home, okay, family of, and they put in quotation marks, the killer of Kamelo Anthony to buy new house. And security with donated $430,000, okay, which now it's close to $450,000, just so you know, as he's freed in Austin Metcalf M. All right. So they're saying here, they're even saying the mom of slain teen cried in court when Kamelo Anthony's bond was reduced. And let's be real. I would, if I was the mother, or if I was the parent of a son that lost their life at the hands of somebody who's they're in a court hearing for, yeah, I'd be upset too. Who wouldn't be upset? Come on, y'all. So let's move on. The family of the teen accused of attacking student athlete to his demise at track meet plans to shell out on a new home and security to protect the alleged Kamelo, okay, after he was released from jail. So Kamelo Anthony walked out of jail on Monday silently, surrounded by his family. Well, I don't know if it was his family, but okay, who posted his $250,000 bond, No, I don't need a Range Rover. Thank you so much. After a judge agreed to lower it from $1 million. And we've all seen this footage, okay? We all seen that footage. And this is, of course, Austin Metcalf, in case you didn't know, if you're late to the party. And please do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Hit the like button down below. Crush it, crush it, crush it. Hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. I'd really, really appreciate it, okay, guys? We talk about a lot of things on this channel, all right? And this is definitely one of the big conversations that's being had on the internet. So please show some love. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and join. Hit that join button down below, okay? If you appreciate these kinds of conversations, all right? So Anthony, we already know, is being charged for taking the life of Austin Metcalf. And this all happened in the stands of a track meet on April 2nd. Like I said, literally 2 whole weeks ago to today. Okay, to this day, 2 weeks ago. So he is now on house arrest, where he'll be required to wear an ankle monitor and stay inside his parents' home. Over $420,000. We understand this. It's been knocked up like $30,000 more now. Okay, has been donated to Anthony's family in an online fundraiser for for allegedly taking the life of Austin Metcalf, okay? But he also has been reportedly been facing racist threats following Metcalf's all right? During the judge's ruling on Monday, prosecutors asked Anthony's dad why he couldn't use the donated money to pay the original bond to release his son from jail. He responded, Andrew Anthony, his father, responded that the money was going to be used for his son's legal defense and security to protect Anthony. Andrew also said the family plans to move into a new house for extra safety. Uh-oh. And what's interesting is everybody looked at this and said, hey, they saw that part and they're going, uh-oh, you mean he's taking the crowdfunding money and they're going to go buy another house? What? So, of course, this is ruffling a lot of feathers right now, okay? People are mad about that phrase here, okay? They're saying, wait a second, they're moving into a brand new home? The hell is going on here? What you talking about? Huh? Hold on, guys, okay? And I know some people will be like, boo, tomatoes, 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 but hold on, okay? Anthony's lawyers insisted the money raised online is not a bond fund, and that the family needs the funds to get by because Anthony's dad is currently on leave from his job. The family needs to be able to survive. This is what the lawyer said. Their lawyer, Mike Howard, said. Okay, so there's been a tremendous amount of pressure. I think at this point, living in a gated community, given everything, the safety of their younger children is very warranted. The security details and criminal defense are not cheap, and they're not, okay? So Megan Metcalf, is Austin's mother, put her head down and cried when the judge ruled to reduce Anthony's bond on Monday. Anthony's lawyers originally asked prosecutors to reduce the bond to $150,000, saying $1 million is just too high because the teen has never been in trouble before. All right. So again, they're saying, hey, we're going to take some of this money so that we can get into so that we have some legal defense, but also security for him as well. They're also getting all kinds of crazy threats, very bad threats, okay, for lack of a better term. But they also want to have this to make sure that they take care of his legal funds and they have the right kind of representation for this particular trial. Now, people have been going ham, okay, on the fact that they're saying that they're moving into another place and all that stuff. But, at the end of the day, if they move into another place, who says they're actually going to buy it? What if they move into a place and they're renting? Because from what I understand, at least this is what I'm gathering and what they've been saying in the news lately, is that the family is renting the home that they actually live in, the $900,000 home that they actually live in inside a gated community. Apparently, they're renting it. They're not owning it. Now, let me just say this too. I don't know their financial situation. I don't know their financial situation, but that doesn't automatically mean that just because they're living in a $900,000 home that they're renting means that they're rolling in dough. It just doesn't mean that. So again, people are taking this and just running and taking this and saying, oh yeah, they bought a new car after his release. Are we sure about that? And let me just say this. People are saying that they bought him a car. Okay, Beautiful Messy Ball just said it earlier. I was going to say it as soon as we got to this part 2, and I agree. Because let's be real, you got to be some level of dumb to buy a car for your son who's on house arrest after you got them out on bond. Like I said, people are taking this and going to a whole nother level. And again, if they bought a new car, maybe they bought that car weeks before this tragedy ensued. And then people are just having selective vision or selective memory and going, oh, no, they just bought that car. Oh, yeah, I see the crowdfunding money. They're using it for to buy lavish things and everything. Why would they buy this kid a new car if he can't even drive it right now? What, he gonna sit in it and fantasize? He just gonna sit in the car, turn it on a couple times in the driveway and think about going to the local Piggly Wink? I mean, come on, guys. Come on, man. Just saying. Some things people are trying to take and they're trying to spin it for their own narrative to make it seem like they're trying to steal this money. But hold on. We got more for y'all. We got more for your ass. Hold on, okay? But like I said, let this kid have his day in court, okay? Let's be real. Again, let me repeat this one more again, because everybody likes to be like, oh, yeah, I see Pascal's bias. Bias Pascal, but Pascal's being biased. Hold on, man. Hold up. I'm straddling the fence as much as I can, and it's uncomfortable as hell. But one thing is for sure. He did take this kid's life. He did not say he did not. He took that kid's life. He admits it. He brought that knife there. Now it's a matter of finding out if this is self-defense or not. Okay? Period. But the fact that he has money raised on his behalf does not mean that this is that they're up to something sinister, y'all. But again, let me remind you again, okay? There was a lot of stuff going on with the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, the Derek Chauvin stuff, Daniel Penny, Luigi Maggioni. There really hasn't been much divide in that situation. It's not as controversial for some strange reason, okay? But at the same time, all those people raise money and, they got the same type of flack. And I think we all need to chill out and back up. They're like, yo, they bought that dude. They bought Kamelo new Nikes. I'm like, what new Nikes? Where are the Nikes at? You mean the ones right behind him? Come on, man. He's got siblings. Think about this. Why would he go and buy a brand new car? Why would the family go buy a brand new car for a kid who's basically locked up for a very long time? That's just a level of like, what? And the timing would be so dumb. You see what I'm saying? That's a level of dumb. You know what I'm saying? So again, look at the situation. Step out of your own bias, your own narrative for a second and just think for a second. And if there's actual proof of this, then hey, I'll be like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. But I think that certain things may have been taken out of context to make it seem like, oh yeah, we're going to take the money and buy a new house. When in actuality, they rent this home. Let's take a look at this. So Carmelo Anthony's living with family in $900,000 home in gated community. Bought a new car after release on bond. But that's the thing. They have no proof. They have no proof of car being bought after release. They've only been getting that information from eyewitnesses in the neighborhood. And you know for a fact there are people out here in the neighborhood that already know the story, and they're going to say whatever they want to say because they're like, oh, yeah. And they bought a new car too. I just saw it. I done seen it right there. You know, for a fact, people will make things up. This is eyewitness accounts. Let's see the actual proof. Let's see the receipts. You know what I'm saying? Have mercy. But look at this. So the Texas teen accused, we already know about this. He allegedly lives in a $900,000 home with his family inside a luxurious gated community. And why is that a problem? Can I just point something out? Okay, first off, okay, I know what he did. And what he did. Okay? Now, I just want to point this out. People are tripping over the fact that he lives in a $900,000 home in a gated community. Why? Why? Is it because he's not perpetuating the stereotype that's in your mind? Oh, he black, so therefore he must be running around with, you know what I'm saying? Living in the hood and doing all this stuff, a broken home and all that stuff. I'm just saying people are trying to find things. They're just trying to find things. Oh, now he doesn't live in squalor? He lives in a nice place? Oh, rats. Criminals and convicted individuals come from all economic backgrounds. Okay? Crime does not care about what color you are or your economic background. Crime is colorblind for the most part. I know that, we live in a world where it's very color based, but at the same time, just because he lives in a nice gated community does not mean his family is trash. Now, I would love to know why, why he was doing what he was doing. It makes you wonder how he is raised at home and all that stuff. But at the same time, financially, they're doing all right. They making some monies. Or at least they're making enough to rent in a home that's $900,000. So let's go. So he lives in a $900,000 home with his family. Okay? Despite requesting that a judge lower his $1 million bond. And that's the other thing, too. People are tripping over about that. If they're able to live in this $900,000 home, then why can't they drop, why can't they pay up the $1 million bond? Well, first off, this is Carmelo Anthony's right to request a lower bond. And then at the end of the day, it's up to the judge to make the decision. Okay? It's up to the judge to make the decision on if Carmelo is going to get a lower bond or not. You know that whole saying, closed mouths don't get fed? So his team did exactly what was asked of them. It's their right. Okay, we're asking for a lesser bond. They asked for $150,000. Okay, and they agreed on $250,000. So he still had to pay a bond. And also, just because they live in a $900,000 home and say that they pay $3,500 a month in this home does not automatically mean that they're financially sound. You never know. They may be living paycheck to paycheck. Just because they have a whole lot of money, or just because they live in a nice gated community does not mean that they're not living beyond their means. Think about that too. Not everybody that's living in these $1 million homes that we all see out here, not all of them are living in the lap of luxury. Sometimes those people, they are a slave to the things that they bought, right? Just thinking about it. Just think about it for a second, y'all. We don't know their finances, okay? We don't know their financial background and their situation, So who are we to judge on the family? The family brought a lawyer. The lawyer was good enough and was convincing enough to the judge to ask for a lower bond. He got that lower bond. Okay. That's how the cookie crumbles. Now, let's figure this out, right? Let's figure out if this is self-defense or not, right? So again, they might be living way beyond their means. And he does have siblings. He's not only just an only child, guys. So he has other kids. He has other siblings as well living in that house. Just something to think about. Renting, okay, where rent is estimated to be $3,500 a month. Okay, they have a white Suburban, a black Acura, and a third sedan in the driveway, and that was what they saw this on Tuesday. So yesterday, okay. A neighbor said also this part. The neighbor said the family just bought a new ride. They just bought a new ride. So again, if you really think about it, okay, so they bought a new ride. That car could have been bought right before this tragedy happened. But people are taking that and saying, "Oh, he bought a new car for him." And you never know. Maybe they did buy that car for him, but this car was bought before the tragedy happened. You really think they're going to give their kid, man, I'm telling you right now, oh my word. Okay. If this was my kid and we got him out on bond, I'm not buying him a car. What the hell? Why would I buy him a car? He got an anklet and everything. He can't leave 5 feet out the front door. So why would I buy him a car right now? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. People mad. And understandably, people mad. But at the same time, look at the facts, y'all. Look at the info first, right? What are you going to do with that car? Nothing. He can't drive it. So they may have bought him a car before the tragedy. They may have bought that car for them before the tragedy, but no one knows so far. So they said, he got a new car, the resident told the outlet. If you look at the license plate, it's got a paper tag and it says it expires June 4th. Okay. But everyone's going, new cars bought, so therefore they're dipping into the funds to buy the car, the house, etc. There's more. Richwoods is about a mile from Centennial High School, where Anthony went to school and ran track. Okay, residents in the gated community are allegedly unaware the family was living at the home until Anthony was released on Monday, and have voiced concerns about having the accused, unaliver in their exclusive neighborhood. Not good. I don't think he should be out. This is what an anonymous mother said from the neighborhood. Okay, and this is what they told an outlet. All right. Another neighbor also told the outlet that Anthony's family is, quote unquote, not poor if they live in a gated community. Okay. Like I said, some people live beyond their means. Some people just get by. Okay. Or, they might be rich broke. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are rich broke. But moving on, they're not poor people. That's for sure. This is what somebody said who knows nothing about this person. Right. This is not the CPA. You know what I mean? These are just people who live in the neighborhood who are upset about this kid living in their neighborhood. And for a fact they knew about this before he even went on bond. They knew about this kid and the kid living there. This kid's family was doxxed, etc. Okay? And then some. So, of course, they're going to move. Is that wrong for them to move? And I would hope that they're using the money. I hope that they're using their own money to move to a new place. Okay? I really do. Because if they end up dipping into that crowdfunding stuff, that could be bad. Okay? Yeah, man. I also heard that too. Family was being swatted as well. You know what I'm saying? That's diabolical, y'all. Swatted. Okay? They were getting swatted, doxxed. They're getting all kinds of hate mail, etc. It's insane. All right. So again, moving on. So Anthony allegedly told police he was acting in self-defense, which we already know. And his family claims the narrative being spread is false, unjust, and harmful. And that is their right. I'm sorry, guys, but that is their right to say that. Okay. Until a court decides whether or not he is innocent or not. Okay. So this is what they said on their Give, Send, Go fundraiser for their legal fees. So they have raised over more than 400, and from my understanding, 450,000 as of today. There's been new updates revolving around that. Okay. So now People are sitting here out here looking crazy, being like, "Oh, yeah, they're buying new Nikes, they're getting him new stuff, in cars, they're buying homes, all that stuff. They're dipping into the give, send, go. This is what they're saying right now. Okay, now what's interesting is, we're now hearing that is not true. Hold on, guys. Come on. I don't know what's going on. Bad signal. Oh no. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay, that's back. Okay. Hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear me. Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Hit the number 1. You guys are buffering and stuff. See, this is what I hate. I hate that. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully it's better. Okay, so let me just get this back up here. 1 second. So they are saying now, okay, because of course there's been a lot of speculation, basically saying, hey, he's been going in and he's been, they've been dipping into the give, send, go and spending money, right? Spending that $450,000, okay? And yeah, again, people are very upset about the whole fact that this whole thing has, $1 million has been dropped down to 250,000 and all that stuff, right? Oh my Lord! Please don't tell me this is it much better? Okay, I might have to. We're gonna keep soldiering through. Okay, hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear me. Real quick before we continue. Hit the number 1. I'm sounding like a robot. Okay. Oh, crap. Robo Pascal in the house. Okay. Well, shoot. Okay. Okay. Clear on your end. Some other. Okay. You know what? Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm gonna reboot real quick, and then we'll continue our conversation. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Internet was acting wild. Okay. But we back. Okay. Just give me a second. I'm trying to get everything back up to par here. All right. Because I had to pretty much shut everything down. Un momento, por favor. Let's see here. Where the heck is it? And I'm going to get to your super chats here in a second as well. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the patience. Where the heck did it go? Oh, man. Okay. Here we go. So there's a little bit more here. Okay. So again, man, I don't know what's going on with the internet. Still freezing. That is frustrating. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet. But we're gonna have to keep going. Hold on one second, guys. Trying to get all this up and running. Yeah, I see still blurry. Yeah, okay. Well, it is what it is. We're going to have to keep it moving. Okay, guys? Sorry about that. But here to tell you guys these stories and these conversations. So we're going to keep it going. All right. So as I was saying, all right, there's been a lot of questions, a lot of speculation, a lot of pointing fingers, and of course, just things that are kind of getting a little out of hand, right? As I said before. And I think that it would be absolutely asinine for people to go and for a family to take, well, one, to dip into the crowdfunding money that they raised for his legal funds or for his legal fees solely to go and buy a new house or buy a car. I think that would be absolutely reckless, okay? And it would be an absolutely dumb move, okay? Now, somebody's asking what's swatting. Swatting is when somebody is literally, there are people out there that have doxed big time podcasters or people, and then they literally will call the police and say, oh, this bad activity is happening at this particular person's home, and then the person will get swatted. In other words, cops will come busting through their door, all right, and make their lives a living hell. And this is a very dangerous tactic. And also, it's extremely illegal, okay? Extremely illegal. I do not recommend you doing that to anyone. Don't do it because it's illegal. There have been people who have been put away for a very long time for doing said things like that, okay? So that is what that is. Don't do it, okay? It's bad. It's a very bad look. And people have lost their lives like this, too, because cops come busting in. And sometimes these people, if you just type it in on YouTube, you can find a bunch of them. Tim Pool, for example, has been swatted, I don't even know how many times, okay? Where he has literally been live on a show, and then suddenly out of nowhere, cops come busting through his front door, and they have to stop the show. You know what I mean? Because people are just a-holes like that. So don't do it. It's not smart. It's illegal as F, and you can literally put people's lives in danger like this, innocent lives in danger. But let's move on. There's been a lot of things where people have been saying, a lot of speculation, pointing fingers and all that stuff. And all I'm saying here is that before we start jumping the gun, we get as much information as we can before we just start making up things so that it looks good for whatever narrative and whatever side of the fence that you stand on. We live in a time right now where even in this situation, people are faking, certain X accounts. People are making things up to, I don't know. They're making things up on behalf of Team Austin's side or Team Carmelo's side. Okay, it's been bad. People are forging medical documents to put out online to make it sound like Austin Metcalf was ODing on something. I mean, there's been a lot of crazy stuff that's been out here, a lot of lies that have been fabricated, and a lot of fake news that has been fabricated out here just so that one party or the other looks more innocent. And I'm telling you right now, this is the reason why I'm bringing up this conversation and this topic, because we need to sit back and wait for the information before we start just making up things. This is where it gets dangerous. This is where things can get very bad for people. And all I say is let's sit back and get the facts and the information before somebody else loses their life because of something like this. Real talk. So this is the thing, all right? This is the conversation. And people have been really upset about it. People have been, like I said, going, losing their minds and moving the goalposts as best as they can, because now it's turned into a black or white thing. And it's sad. We should be better than that. All of us as a people. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. We should be better as a people. Right is right and wrong is wrong. This is a right and wrong thing. This is a life or death situation. This is what needs to be done. Period. But people want to take certain things when they hear, oh yeah, they're moving to another house and blah blah blah. Oh yeah, and they even bought a new car. People are taking that narrative and saying, oh, he bought a new car. They bought him a new car, like he's getting rewarded for this terrible thing. And what I was trying to say earlier before the internet went to poop, I was going to say, man, what parent in their right mind would be gifting their child for taking the life of another person? I'll tell you what, no one, no right-minded, no sane person in their head would ever do something like that. Real talk. Plenty of idiots out here, okay? Plenty of diabolical individuals out here. But I don't know about you, but I ain't rewarding my child with a car or anything of that sort for being locked up and possibly living the rest of your life behind bars. You know what I'm saying? Like nah, I'm not doing that. We're gonna be like, son, you about to be in your room and you about to be reading books. That's all you're doing. And you're gonna take some anger management classes online. And we're going to get you a therapist. That's the gifts I'm giving you. Okay? That's it. That's the gifts I'm giving your ass. I'm not giving you no new Nikes and a car. Ha! That's hilarious, y'all. Hilarious. Okay? So again, before we automatically assume certain things and take this and go super ham on this thing, let's find out the information first. So now, so all the stuff I wanted to say, and I'm sorry for the internet being wonky and all that stuff. It is what it is. Damn you, internet. But moving on. Here's the thing. People have been going on with this rumor mill, and now we're getting more information here. So here's something. They haven't even touched the doggone money from the Give, Send, Go. How about that? And this is coming from one of the co-founders of Give, Send, Go. They're saying that the family have not touched the money at all. Mind blown, right? Mind absolutely blown. See, this is the reason why I say it's important for us to find out the information first before we just start shooting from the hip, babies. Because let's be real, the money's still in the account. Apparently, there are certain things they have to do before they can actually get the money out the doggone account. Yeah. And then there's accusations being made towards the Give, Send, Go founders as well, which is even more diabolical. Which, by the way, they also are debunking in this little article right here. So let's take a look at this. And like I said, I am on nobody's team. I'm on team facts and team truth. Just so you know, facts and truth. This kid took that kid's life. Is it self-defense? I don't know. But he could very well be locked up for the rest of his doggone life. But instead of us going on and running around and being like, he bought a new car too for the kid. Where's that information at? I mean, it's ridiculous, guys. He got new Nikes and everything. He got new kicks. What are the chances of them actually buying him new suits for the trial? Maybe 1 or 2 new suits for the trial. So he looks presentable in court because he has every right to look presentable in court. I'm just saying things that we need to think about before everyone's like, oh yeah, they've just been going on a crazy haul on Amazon and Wayfair and you know and Shein. You know what I mean? What if they're just getting things for him for the trial? Or what if they're just getting stuff because they were just getting stuff? And that's their prerogative. They're dipping into their own money. They're dipping into their own money. They got kids in that place, guys. They got kids, plural, more than just him. And they need things too. Let's not forget that. So again, instead of everybody just jumping the gun and going, oh my word, new shoes and a brand new car for this alleged killer. Chill. Tranquilo. Por favor. Chill. And now we got the head, one of the co-founders of of the Give Send Go, saying, hey, they did not touch not one red penny of this $450,000 that they raised so far. So let's take a look at this. So they're saying not using Mula from the fundraiser, even after he got the money paid for the bail. All right. So Carmelo Anthony has not withdrawn funds from his nearly $450,000 Give Send Go fundraiser, even after he walked free from the slammer on a $250,000 bond Monday. So Jacob Wells, which we've heard about before, who, by the way, came out and said, hey, it's interesting that you guys are all saying that, you know, that he said, oh, I think it's very interesting that you're getting very upset about Carmelo Anthony. Yet we raised money for Derek Chauvin. We raised money for Luigi Maggioni. We raised money for Kyle Rittenhouse, even Daniel Penny. Why can't we raise money for this kid as well? Why can't we be the source where they raise money for this kid here too? So we have to have an instant bias because his name is Carmelo. He basically said something along the lines of that. And he's not wrong. If it's open for everyone, it should be open for everyone. Whether or not you agree with what he did. Derek Chauvin, and God only knows where Jacob Wells stands on. He may be not for it, right? He may be for George Floyd. You never know. But they still raised money for Derek Chauvin. The site still raised money for Derek Chauvin. So I'm just saying, if they can raise money for Derek Chauvin, they can raise money for Carmelo Anthony. Doesn't matter what side of the fence you stand on. That's what the platform's made for. Moving on, Jacob Wells, same person that we read about just a couple days ago. Moving on, he's the co-founder of the popular crowd searching platform, tells TMZ no funds have been distributed as the company receives, quote unquote, clarity from the campaign clarity from the campaign recipient on use of funds so that the people that have given can be confident in how their donation is being used. That is very important. Okay? They want to make sure that the people who are donating are actually donating for exactly that thing. Okay? Real talk. The revelation comes while folks question how Anthony satisfied his $250,000 bond, which a judge reduced from $1 million, and how his family is covering his legal costs as the 17-year-old faces first-degree M charges in of course, the unaliving of Austin Metcalf at their track meet earlier this month, 2 whole weeks ago today, all while allegedly living in a $900,000 rental home. All right. Wells further clarifies to TMZ campaign recipients, Wells further clarifies to TMZ campaign recipients are usually able to withdraw donations 72 hours after a donation is made, either in full or a specific amount. That's very important to hear. However, he said there are certain scenarios in which a hold can be placed on a campaign to ensure proper verification and terms of service alignment, for example. He also said there's a chance a small reserve could be withheld to cover potential chargebacks and refunds, which sometimes happens in high-profile campaigns. So again, once again, there are certain things that need to be done before they can even get $1 out of this mother-loving thing. Okay? Just so you know. Moving on. He further notes 100% of the money raised goes to the recipient, and that Give, Send, Go does not skim from campaigns. Uh-oh. I want to make this abundantly clear, okay? I'll be clear that people are out here saying that, oh, no. The reason why they are okay with this and they're allowing the fundraising to happen is because they're getting a piece of the pie. That Wells and his other founders of Give, Send, Go actually get a big chunk of cake. They get a big piece of the pie out of whatever's being raised. And he's saying 100% of the money raised goes to the recipient. That Give, Send, Go does not skim from campaigns. Now, there is GoFundMe. There are Kickstarter websites and all that stuff. They take money. They most definitely take a percentage of money. But Give, Send, Go, allegedly, this is what he claims, does not take not one penny from the people who are actually trying to raise money for whatever they're trying to raise money for. Isn't that interesting? But again, people have been saying, oh, no. The reason why he doesn't want to stop this fundraiser is because he's going to be making a lot of money off at the end. At the back end, he's going to make a whole lot of profit when he's saying that no money is going to them at all. They don't get $1. So he is still standing on the side of this is for people to raise money. Doesn't matter what political side that you stand on. Doesn't matter if you believe that they are innocent or guilty, that this is a place that they can go raise this money and get all that money in full. There might be a few fees for, back for chargebacks and refunds. But other than that, 100% of this money that's raised is going straight to that person. Okay? So that's interesting. So moving on. And to those offended that Give, Send, Go chooses to be involved with someone charged with M, Wells tells TMZ is not up to the company to decide Anthony's guilt or innocence, and that his case needs to be adjudicated in the court of law, which we've been saying all this time. Again, like I said, he did that. But now it's going to be up to him and his team to show whether or not he really did do this out of self-defense. It's up to the court now. Give, Send, Go has allowed fundraisers from all views of political and ideological spectrums, including campaigns for highly polarizing characters such as Luigi Maggioni, Kyle Rittenhouse, and Derek Chauvin, all with the belief that justice will be served inside the courtroom. I think that's very important for us all to hear, okay? For us all to know. At the end of the day, you have people. Hold on, guys. Sorry. You have people that are trying to do everything they can to villainize the family. Let's be real. What Kamelo did, unbelievable, heartbreaking, terrifying, etc. But there's something you got to remember. The parents didn't do this. The parents didn't do this. So why are we going after the family when they're doing everything they can to protect their kid? I don't see anything wrong with them trying to protect their kid. Again, what their kid did is wrong, but they're going to try to get as best they can to, so that this kid can maybe have some semblance of a life. He probably won't. Okay. But that's their right as parents. But people are trying to go out of their way to say that they're stealing the money and all that. And according to one of the co-founders, they have not touched one red penny thus far. Hold on one second. Beautiful Messy Ball. I got a couple super chats. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. People need to understand that bail isn't about. I think it's okay. People need to understand that bail isn't about punishment. Bail is to ensure the defendant shows up to court. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. 110%. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, for sure. Make sure that they don't flee. Wisdom Warrior, thank you so much for love. Pascal, please go listen to the video on Information Man Show and listen to the young man who was an eyewitness. Those twins were bullies. Okay. And it's unfortunate that things happened the way that it did. Yes, it's very unfortunate. I will definitely see what's up on that, and take a listen to that interview. But see, that's the thing. Even then, I'm hoping that, and I'm not sitting here saying anything, bad about Information Man Show. I'm just saying nowadays I kind of pump the brakes on eyewitness stuff. I know we've listened to a couple, and I'm like, is this really true? Is this not? Because people are out here saying all kinds of lies. People are fabricating things. People are making things up. So I instantly go, okay, I would hope that person was properly vetted and all that before they went onto the show and spoke on the show. But I'll take a listen to it for sure, because I'm quite curious to hear what was being said on the Information Man Show. But if it's the same video that I played a little bit ago, I still question that person as well. With all due respect, I just still question them, because like I said, I'd like to know if that person is telling the truth or if that person's not telling the truth, just so that they can, hold on to one side of the narrative, if that makes any sense, right? So we got to be mindful of that. Jasmine, thank you so much for being a member for the past 6 months. I really do appreciate it. Hit that like. The math ain't mathin'. Yeah, hit the like, guys. Hit that like button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Can we just get it to 5? We're a little less than 15 away from 500. Okay, 500 likes. Please go hit that. That'll be greatly appreciated. All right. But there is a video here I want to share with y'all. So we're going to take a look. Let me get this comment down. Let me just show you guys this too. Let's take a look at this quick little video.
Allow fundraisers for people accused of violent crimes.
Oh, mind you, this is the co-founder of Give, Send, Go. And now he did an interview with TMZ. So let's take a look.
Is, I guess, the underlying question. One, there are scenarios, and we all know and have seen them in the past, where people have killed somebody and not been found guilty of murder, let off, because there are scenarios where somebody dies because of the actions of somebody, but because of a greater case around it, i.e. self-defense or the defense of others, it's not considered murder. It's actually considered self-defense. So there are scenarios where people die where the outcome isn't guilt. So just because Kamelo has admitted to killing someone, it doesn't mean that he's a murderer. It means that he killed somebody. And he, just like everyone else in the United States, they deserve the same presumption of innocence in in a court of law that everyone else does, or that they deserve that same due process and foundation, that cornerstone of our legal system that has existed for everybody. People know us because as a Christian crowdfunding platform, because
hold on real quick. He's what he's saying. I mean, this literally like the side that I live on, right? It's like, hey, he did that. This is what I keep saying. He did that. He took this guy's life. He took Austin's life. That's without question. He admits it. I get that his Miranda rights weren't read to him right before that or anything of that sort, but he did say, I'm not alleged, I did it. He took responsibility for taking the life of Austin. Okay? He says that. Seriously, guys. So again, it will be up to the jury and to the courts if it's considered self-defense or not. He did take this man's life. He took the man's life. It is M. Okay? Austin is no longer here, guys. Regardless if it was racially motivated or not, this kid is no longer here. Now it'll be up to the jury to decide whether or not if this is indeed self-defense or not. But I also will say this too. The evidence will show some things too. Let's not forget that. The evidence will show some things for show.
that's what we operate under, a framework of. I'm a Christian. Many people on our team, not everyone on our team is Christian, but we operate with dignity and hope for all people. We believe that God loves everybody, even broken people, which we all are. Like we all have found ourselves in bad places. The whole narrative of Jesus and the cross is that humans are broken and that we needed forgiveness.
Okay. So you heard what he said. All right. And again, that is one opinion that's literally trying to sit on the fence, right? It's uncomfortable as hell because it's easy to sit on one side or the other. What's really hard is to be able to sit back, look at the information, and come up with your own independent diagnosis or your own independent thoughts. Okay? This is what it is. Okay? We live in a time where you are either on one side or the other, and that's it. And that's what's so sad about it. Okay? I understand. But I think that if there was more information out here, it would be a lot easier for us to stand on one side or the other. Again, when we see the footage, I hope it's clear as day that it's either self-defense or it's not. Because then it will be easier for all of us to stand on one side or the other. And I think that's one of the reasons why there is so much vitriol in the town square right now on these internet social media streets, because we don't know everything. And a lot of us are just going off of a hypothesis, okay, off of theory, off of opinion, solely because of it being on, I don't know, one particular narrative politically or the other. Or it's, I side with him because he's black, or I side with him because he's white. And that's the world that we live in right now. And it's unfortunate because it shouldn't be like that. But it is a very eye-opening situation to look back at these things and go, wow, we live in we still in the 50s. And that's a damn shame. But I feel like, honestly, we shouldn't be that surprised because we've always been seeing this for a while. I mean, we saw this all the way back from Michael Brown Jr. We saw this from all the way back from, the slew of cases that we've talked about or have been brought up and have started, protests and riots and all that stuff in the streets. We've been seeing these things. Yes, we are making progress, but it's a slow snail crawl of progress. But again, when we look at this, the kid did what he did. That's without question. He plunged a knife into the chest of somebody else. It's really just a matter of whether or not it is self-defense or not. And I know we all have our thoughts. One thing I will say for sure, too, just a real quick thing. When it came to the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, we saw video upon video, clips of multiple angles of Kyle Rittenhouse. We saw what he did. We saw what he was a part of. We saw him running around with his weapon and doing what he did. Now, no matter what side you were on that particular Kyle Rittenhouse situation, one thing was for sure, even when we saw the footage, and this is the thing that kind of gets me nervous about this, even when we saw the actual footage, it made things worse. Because some people will look at it and go, that is absolutely 110% him protecting himself. That is self-defense. But then there's other people that say, no. He went out there. He really wanted to be a cowboy. He really wanted to do some bad. And it just stoked the flames even more. Now, the one thing I'm really concerned about is that I hope we don't have that. I hope that this evidence is clear as day, that he most definitely was attacked, or he definitely was not attacked, or he was the aggressor and not the other way around, that it wasn't like two twins going off, like twins going after Kamelo and it was 2 against 1 type of situation. We don't know everything yet, right? How it's drawn up right now, it just sounds like he put his hands on him and then knife plunged into chest. Pretty scary stuff. But again, I guess we're going to have to sit back and wait to see if there's footage that actually shows this. But I've said this before. And I'll say it again. I said it earlier in the show. If there is video footage and it could exonerate or even damn Kamelo even more, why hasn't it been released? And why haven't we heard from any representatives of any side of the family demanding that footage to be released to the public? I think that's something that we need to take into consideration here. Why haven't we seen the footage? It's been 2 weeks. For a fact, all this stuff would have been out and the next day when this, or at least the day after this became international discussion, international debates. But if you notice, none of the footage has been out. And we have not seen from either side, from the Metcalf family or the Anthony family, none of their representatives have gone out and said, we're holding a press conference, we're coming out here, and we're demanding that law enforcement release the footage. We haven't seen any of that yet. Even so, the people who actually filmed, if they had it on their phones and all that stuff, none of it. Okay? None of it has been leaked by any person. I just think that's interesting. Now, that doesn't mean admission of guilt or admission of innocence. It doesn't. It's just something I find very interesting. And hopefully we'll find out here soon enough when that footage does get leaked. I thought it would be happening by now. I thought it would have happened by Monday. But it didn't. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens here, guys. For sure. Okay. We live in a wild time, y'all. And I know I say that a lot, but it's true. But one thing is for sure. That footage would definitely help. Okay. That footage would definitely help. It would. And I know I saw somebody in the chat say, as a lawyer, I would not want that footage out. Absolutely. I know that they wouldn't want it out. The lawyers, I'm sure. Because if they got a chance to see it before the actual footage, if they actually got to see the footage, maybe that's one of the reasons why they're like, no, we're not taking it. No. Let's not release that. We're not even going to ask for that to be released. And that's unfortunate, because I would rather that be out so that everyone sees in full transparency in 4K or however it's shot what actually went down. That's the one thing that's very frustrating about it. People are wondering what actually happened. How did it happen? Why did it happen? And the eyewitness accounts from these arrest reports are trash. One eyewitness says one thing, another eyewitness says something completely different. We need more information. The other thing, too, is even one of the eyewitnesses says that Kamelo knew another black kid that was underneath was part of the school track team, that was part of Austin Metcalf's track team, that was black, that was underneath the tent. That kid ends up getting interviewed as a witness, and he says, I don't know this guy. So what is true? Like I said, the reports, some of these reports are a little bit conflicting. And that's from police that were boots on the ground at the place, at the crime scene of the crime. So again, we'll find out more information and we'll have more conversations for sure when we get more stuff coming out. But from what we know, they have not dipped into that crowdfunding account at all. And if they end up going and moving to another place and getting some security, I mean, I feel like it's safe to believe that they're going to use some of the money for security. They are already getting very violent threats from God knows who. And God knows what kind of security deposit, if they're going to rent the house, God only knows what kind of security deposit they may have to drop to move to another home, because maybe that owner may not want to have that kind of potential trouble in their home, at their home that they actually own. It's just something to think about, guys. It's definitely something to think about. All right. Again, it's his family. They're not the ones who did the crime. Okay. They're not the ones who are being alleged of doing a crime. They're just the family. And they're just being caught in the crossfires. And that's really unfortunate. But guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It means a lot. Thank you so much. I got a couple other videos coming out here very soon, so keep an eye out for those. We got some things we got to talk about. Yeah, we got to have these hard conversations too. These are not easy, right? Okay. They're, I mean, hold on. Shiny Star said they're murder enablers. How are they murder enablers? I'm just curious about that. Where's the enabling of that? They have no control over their kid when he leaves the house. All they can hope is that they instill this kid with values and morals and that he makes good choices. You know how it is. We all get that worry. We all are raising our kids and all that stuff. And we're all sitting there going, man, please don't be a dick. You know exactly what I'm talking about, y'all. You know exactly that. You're going, please be a good person. Just don't be a dick. Please don't be a dick. Okay? Real talk. Okay? When you let them leave the house, okay, and if you've done everything you can to raise them, you're not having weapons strewn all over the house, and your house is filled with, bullets and guns and all that stuff, and you're not glorifying violence and all that. If you're raising your children in the best representation of your family and you're instilling the greatest type of things, filling them with nothing but love and knowledge, you put them out into the world. They have free will at that point. All you can do is hope to sweet baby Jesus that your kids are going to be good kids and they're going to make right choices and not be a-holes. That's it. That's all we hope. That's all we hope for. But then when you get your kid in a situation like this, what do you do? But when your kid gets themselves in a situation like this, what do you do? Do you sit there and go, no, you just rot in the jail? Some parents would do that. But some others will be like, no. We need him home. If they actually believe what he says, if they believe that that it was self-defense, then that's what they believe. They weren't there. Of course they're going to be biased, and of course they're going to be on their son's side because it's their kid. Come on, guys. It's not enabling. That's not a murder enabling. That is parents loving and doting on their son. Come on, you do the same thing. You would do the same doggone thing, people. Just saying. Just saying. Wisdom, thank you so much for the love. Never allow anyone to force you to do anything. Absolutely. I agree with that 110%. Okay. No, I'm not mad. Shoot, I am not mad. All I'm saying is I'm talking facts. I'm talking logic here. Okay. Or as Trump would say, common sense, right? It's common sense. It's common sense. You bring a child into the world, you pour nothing but love, you cherish them, you dote upon them, you give them things that they need, you hope that they need for nothing, and then you put them out into the world and you hope that they make right decisions. You have no control. It's not like this is a marionette where you're just pulling the strings, telling them like, don't touch that joint, don't touch that gun, don't touch this, make right choices, read the Bible, whatever it may be, right? Drink Perrier, read the Bible, right? Don't have relations with that girl. You know what I'm saying? Keep your weed whacker in your pants so we don't have any teen pregnancies, son. You know what I mean? You just sit there and you hope that your kid's going to make right choices, right? That's it. That's it. At the end of the day, you got no choice but to sit there and go, I hope he won't become an a-hole. Please don't be a douche. Please don't be a douche. Same thing with your daughters too. Hope she's a good girl. Please don't be a douche, right? But then something like this does happen and you aren't there. You weren't there to see what actually happened. All you know is what your kid told you. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to side with your kid. Come on, y'all. You and I both know that's going to happen. So this is not enabling. This is parents loving and caring for their kid and keeping them out of jail, because jail is no bueno. And that's a dangerous place for a 17-year-old kid. And they're trying to do everything they can to keep that kid out of jail for as long as they can, because they know for a fact he most likely going to be going back in there for a very, very long time. So however long he is under house arrest until he is found, until they go to trial, these are the moments that they have with their child before he potentially gets locked away for good. Think about that for a second, guys. As a parent, think about that. Anyway, Lisa, thank you so much. People need to stop looking at color and look for facts. Absolutely. Absolutely, Lisa. I agree with you 110%. But there it is, okay? All right. No, I don't. Listen, kid did what he did. I want to know if it's self-defense or not. Because if it's self-defense, this may be dropped down to manslaughter. This could be second degree, etc., right? So let's find out, okay? Let's find out. Let's see the facts. Let's see the proof. But again, looking on the side of a parent that may be thinking that he's going to be locked up for a long time. They're probably thinking this is the only time we get to have time with our son. Let's get him out of danger, because being behind bars can be very dangerous for him too. He's 17. All I'm saying is I'm just speaking as a person with a heart, okay? That if you and just thinking as if this was my child, okay? That's it. Period. I think that when it comes to things like this, your narrative and your thoughts are going to change because it's your kid now. That's it. And and some people will, never underestimate the power of denial. Never underestimate the power of denial. Things will be happening in your face. And some parents will sit there and go, no, my kid good. My kid ain't no such and such. My kid good. And he's doing it literally, whatever he's doing that's bad, he's doing it right in front of you. And you still are sitting there going, no, my kid's a good kid. He's amazing. He gets high marks. He's a great kid. But you're seeing it right in front of you. Never underestimate the power of denial. Okay? Never underestimate the power of denial. Crystal, thank you so much. Welcome to the family. And just like Crystal, please consider becoming a member. Hit that join button down below. Like I said, we have these hard conversations. That is what it is. Okay? But at the end of the day, You got a family that's going to stand behind their kid because they believe what their kid said is to be true. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's not. Now we got to wait for the trial and see what his legal team does. Okay? Period. So, back to this. That is the show. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you so much. Okay? Thank you, Demetra. Thank you. Any parent would do the same thing. I agree. So, appreciate you guys. Okay? Please do me a favor before you hit out. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. Hit that reaction button. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you are watching on other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, make sure you hit that follow button. Subscribe here on my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. We got some videos coming out in a little while. So please make sure you are subscribed to both channels. Make sure you hit that notification bell on both platforms so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because it is random. That'd be greatly appreciated. Hit that join button down below, just like we just got a new member. Welcome to the family. All right. So hit that join button down below. Become a member. Support the channel if you can. Check out my Patreon. Check out my locals. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, guys. And as this story continues to churn on, we will talk about it, okay, in the best way that we can. All right. Much love to you guys. Have a great one, and we'll talk very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.